Shout out Q. Shout out Q. Shout out Q. Shout out Q.
Here at Clarke County High School, joining me, Tanner Sipe. First and foremost, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Obviously, the football season not ending the way you want, getting into basketball with an injury, so sort of delayed. I know probably with an injury, you're just itching to get back out there. But getting back into basketball and being with Clarke basketball in athletics in general, I would imagine still being a leader for the Eagles is something huge. How are you being that leader even though you currently are not on the court and can't contribute on the court?
Yeah, so obviously the injury is a setback to me, but I mean to the team, I can still affect and be a leader, like you said. Last year we had a bunch of seniors that graduated, got to sit behind them, didn't have to have as much of a role or as much of a speaking role at least. But this year definitely going to have to step up, just like football. I mean, just encouraging others, teaching each other, making each other better. I can impact the team in that way if I'm not on the court quite yet.
Yeah, so just the landscape of Clarke basketball, I haven't really looked into how many newcomers are coming up. And it is early. You've still had one game, but we'll touch on that in a second. But just some of the younger guys maybe who are coming up through this program with Coach Auslander leading you all. What is that sort of like to get them acclimated to what Clarke basketball is like and what sort of you try to teach them in terms of what Coach Auslander expects from your squad?
Yeah, so I remember in the past when some young players have came up. I remember coming up as a sophomore, kind of going in. It's hard. You don't really know. Not haven't played with some of the people you're going to be playing with before, and it's varsity basketball. I mean, it's more intense. It's faster paced. But we got Isaac and Colton this year, two sophomores coming up, and as we saw in the first game, I mean, they acclimated in real fast. They got real comfortable, and I think they'll be a great part of this team.
Absolutely. And in general, yeah, I mean, just pretending like you weren't hurt from football to basketball, what's sort of that skill set in your mind switching from football directly into basketball with no sort of break in between?
Yeah, so the body has to rest, but the biggest thing for me, at least, is the conditioning. You think how much we run during football, we'd be conditioned perfectly, but basketball, running up and down, it's way different. I mean, one up and down right now, I'd probably be out of breath. So that's probably the biggest change.
And just briefly, I know you weren't able to play, but it looked like your team had a lot of fight come game one against James Wood. James Wood had a lead, sort of some lead changes, then eventually shooting some threes, getting hot at the right time. Your team, just take me through what you liked out of your team and their performance.
Yeah, so of course, just size wise, our 3-point game is probably gonna have to be pretty strong this year. It's gonna have to carry us in some games on offense at least. But I think one of the major aspects that kind of not surprised, but I was like impressed with was just our like hustle and fight, our defense. I think we'll keep improving as the year goes on, and it's already great. I think a lot of kids, they want to be there, they want to play, and they want to keep fighting to win.
Absolutely. Tanner, I know you're itching to get back out there. Wishing you all the best through the rest of your recovery. And always great to see you, my friend.
Yeah, good to see you too. I hope to be back soon.
Lincoln Booker now joining me. Been with this program for quite some time as well, coming off the gridiron. I know not the result you expected from the gridiron, but hopping back in, I would imagine not a lot of time to sort of focus on what happened on the gridiron and get back to playing the next sport, winter basketball. What's that like hopping from football directly into basketball?
Well, coming after the bad loss, I mean, during the whole entire football season, basketball has always been like on my mind, even though during football you got to focus on that. But I mean, I'm just glad to play my favorite sport now.
Absolutely. So just take me through hopping straight in. Does it take a lot of time to get acclimated from what you're working on in football and switching straight to basketball?
Yes, definitely. The plays, I would say, and the running is just way more complicated. You have to know where to be on the court. In football, you're kind of like in your spot from the start to every play. In basketball, you kind of just have to fill in, know where to be at all times in the court.
Absolutely. So is there really an off season for you, or are you just working on both football and basketball come this around this time?
No, there's not really an off season. I mean, you always got to be practicing. Well, I guess that is always got to be practicing in the backyard, you know. And during football, I was always practicing, and then now, hopefully, it'll show on the court what I do.
Absolutely. Game one, just briefly touching on it. I know we couldn't catch you before the season started, but a big win against James Wood. Looks like the team got hot at just the right time. Sort of looking at what your team and you did collectively come game one. How excited are you for the rest of the season?
After playing during that game, it was one of my favorite games to play. And our team looks like we can really be put in some shape. We can definitely be really good and be a really good shooting team, which is what we need to do because we're not the tallest. I mean, we only have like a 6'3", and then there's like me 6'1", and we just got to be a shooting team, and hopefully we can do as good as we did against James Wood.
3-point shots seem to be a key for you all. How huge is that you're able to make those big explosive shots when needed as well?
We definitely needed to against that team because we can't really make it to the paint against those big guys, and so we definitely just have to be a 3-point team, know how to get open and create shots for others.
And Clarke County basketball, it seems like a lot of speed and good size. Would you think the speed in terms of playing on the football field, you're doing a lot of running, does that help when it comes to basketball?
Yes, most definitely. It definitely carries over. You have to be in basketball. It's so much more to be more agile, and you have to be constantly moving. If you're standing still, you're definitely doing something wrong.
Absolutely. So in the Bull Run district, I'm not really too familiar with the competition, but I know you've been with this program for a while. What is the competition like when it comes to basketball in the Bull Run district?
The competition should be really good this year. All the teams are pretty even. Anybody this year can really take it on and take on that chip for the district, and it should be hard fought. There isn't really a too dominant team this year.
And just last but not least, what are you looking forward to most as this season progresses?
Seeing the team grow because we still have a lot to learn. We do have younger guys on the team are still learning the plays and everything. So I think our growth will be like the best thing to see this year.
And younger guys, obviously, what is that like to sort of take them up through the program as one of the leaders on this team, I would imagine, and just help them get established to what Coach Auslander wants Clarke basketball to do?
Yeah, as a captain, I mean, we really have to, let them know that it's okay to make mistakes, and you just have to pick it up and do better. Look at the next play and just keep going.
Absolutely. Lincoln, really appreciate your time. Great work out there on the court, and looking forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thank you.
Now joining me, Clarke County basketball sophomore Isaac Nei. Thank you for your time right here on Kirby on Sports. First and foremost, your off season, what was that like getting set for a new basketball season?
My off season didn't really do a lot actually, except for the couple months prior to the season, I was in cross country, so getting conditioned so I can run and play for longer.
Here we go, cross country, long distance running. How does that help on the court?
Well, it helps in the longer game, not really the short game because it's more of an aerobic kind of thing for cross country, and basketball is more starting and stopping, and it's more anaerobic. So cross country definitely helps in like the last minutes of the game, and I don't really feel as fatigued.
Absolutely. So, one of the younger players on the team as a sophomore, just take me through what it's like just getting back with the squad. There are some older kids. We just heard from Lincoln as well talk about how they're sort of helping the younger crew in terms of getting set, knowing what Coach Auslander expects out of this program. What's it like just getting back with them? And I know you're already one game in so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the older guys, they definitely help. They're not like putting us down whenever we make mistakes. Like they help us. I mean, they'll obviously point it out, but then they'll be like, you need to do this instead. They're not just like cussing us out and whatever, just telling us everything we're doing wrong. They're actually helping us grow.
Absolutely. So, so far, I know it's early, but I'm sure you've had some scrimmages, one game under your belt. What have you really seen, and what sort of have you liked from this team so far come one regular season game in?
I don't know. It feels like through the scrimmages and the one regular season game, we just get better with every game. Since our team's younger, we still have a lot to learn. We're learning pretty fast, and we just need to learn to be able to mold together as a team and work well.
And what is that like in terms of molding the team together, becoming one unit? How huge is that to be together at a point during the season to make sure you're all on the same page, knowing what you're doing? I'm sure team bonding and stuff helps with that, but how huge is that to sort of be all together as one team?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty big. It creates. It's important to create like a good dynamic with the team, and especially when you're on the court, you need to know your teammates' tendencies so you can just make the right decision at all times.
Absolutely. And just last but not least, what are you looking forward to most as the season progresses?
I don't know. I'm just excited to play. That's all. Like, I don't really. I mean, I do care if we win a lot of games, but I'm just excited to play.
Yeah, and just looking at you on the court, it seems like you have a lot of speed, doing a lot of stuff in terms of ball movement. It just from what I've seen, fast ball movement, putting shots in the air. Just your performance game one, it seemed like you did a lot of good in the game. Just take me through what you saw out there on the court that enabled you to be so successful in game one.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know. The guys would pick up pretty high, like half court. So all you need to do is just a ball screen. I'm pretty quick, so you just come off that, and it's just a pick and roll game, and just try and make the best decision.
And I know you're pretty young in the program, but do you have any thoughts on the Bull Run District and the competition throughout the district?
Yeah, I mean, I was on JV last year, but I definitely watched a lot of the varsity games, especially home, and there's a lot of competition. Like Luray and Madison should be pretty good this year, but everyone's pretty even. So I'm not expecting like one specific team to win the whole thing. It's not like the Celtics or whatever. Like it's not like one huge team. It's like everyone's pretty even. There's no like huge superstars.
Could make for some good competition when it comes down to those district games. Big crowd attention, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Isaac, really appreciate your time here and best of luck to you this season.
Thank you.
Now joining me, second-year head coach of the Clarke County Eagles boys basketball, Kent Auslander. Coach, appreciate you having us out here first and foremost. Just take me through your off season, what it's like getting back into the swing of things as you're already one game in.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, we graduated a ton of our, seniors last year that were high contributors. So I knew coming into this year we'd be a young team. Try to get some stuff in over the summer. That was a lot of production there because we got to play in the summer league, got to put in some defensive stuff. And I just really wanted to cram that stuff in because I knew a lot of our contributors this year, we play football. So if they're playing football, that's a few months there. They're not really playing basketball that much. So I wanted to get as much done as I could during the summer. And then the fall, just focusing on the young guys, trying to get them ready for the season.
Absolutely. Take me back to last year, your overall thoughts, year one in the program. What was that like, and what are you looking to take away from that to improve come year two?
Yeah, I mean, it was a dream first year. 20 wins, all the guys bought in right away, didn't make it tough on me, coming into a situation that was difficult, right? The players welcomed me right in. It was great, and we won a ton of games. Obviously, we'd love to come away with a district championship or a region championship. We came one game short on the regular season, in the tournament for districts, and then in the region tournament. So came one game short in each of them, but all in all, amazing first season, and I love the experience that we were able to get.
Absolutely. In the off season, you mentioned the fall, your football players, you have a lot of football players coming over, so focusing on the other guys in the youth of this team. Mm-hmm. How does that sort of help in terms of when you get your football players back, how you can sort of plug and play to get the best product out on the court?
Yeah, it gets them extra reps doing things, right? It allows me to put my full focus into them. And when I'm able to do that, they can get better and better. And then when the footballers come back, we're able to mesh together really well.
Absolutely. And Fall League 2, sort of a time where you can play and you're not focused on a result like a Bull Run District Championship, a region championship. What is that like going out there and sort of setting stuff up, getting the players that fully focus on basketball together in the fall, and how does that translate to off season to get them set for this season?
Yeah, we like to focus a lot on skill work. It's tough for me to put in principles defensively or offensively where not everyone's going to learn it. So we focus on a lot of skill work with our guys, and then open gyms, just giving them those extra reps to use that skill work. We feel like that does a good job of developing them. So.
Absolutely. And in terms of just the team being together as well, do you think that helps from the fall to now, knowing sort of like their playing styles, et cetera, something along those lines?
Yeah, I think that's a big carryover from the summer, really. Everyone being together, we get to, work on our stuff offensively, work on our stuff defensively, so that everyone knows it, so that we can come in day one. Even the guys that come late from football, they know the schemes, right? So we can kind of just get going right away, not have to set stuff up.
Absolutely. And mentioned we're already one game in. I would imagine you had a scrimmage or two. Take me through your scrimmages, how you like that, and sort of what you took away to get a little bit better and claim the victory against James Wood.
Yes, we had a couple of scrimmages before that James Wood game, and as we've talked about, the players talked about before me, it's really young team. Like, we start 2 sophomores. Okay, it's their first time playing varsity, so we're improving a lot every game. That first scrimmage, there were some things we struggled with that we really needed to prove right away. I thought the second scrimmage, we improved in that stuff, and then going into the next game, that first game, we played really well. I think our guys are going to get better exponentially just because that experience only is going to build on itself. So to have a young team be able to get that experience and build is nothing but positives.
How does it feel having leaders like Tanner and Lincoln on the team helping some of those younger guys out as well? Because as a head coach, you can only do so much. But what's it like to have them with you as leaders on the team?
Oh, we couldn't do it without them, right? I mean, you need those guys in your program, right? Those seniors, and they're 2 perfect seniors where they're just going to go 100 miles per hour every day. They're going to bring their best effort every single day. And when your senior leaders are bringing that effort every day, you have no choice but to bring it too, right? Lincoln's going to be in the right spot, so you better be in the right spot too, where he's going to tell you you're not. And if you don't have those type of guys, it's really hard for you as a coach to hold every single player accountable, right? But when you have players doing it, you can pick your spots better, and that makes it really great for the team overall.
And mentioning the youth of the team once again, it looks like they came out and had a pretty good game from what I saw against James Wood. Just take me through the youth of your team early when it came to their first varsity start in a real regular season game. What was that like, and how do you think they'll improve as the season goes?
Yeah, no, they were great. They were great against James Wood. Colton and Isaac, I think they led our team in scoring. They were our top 2 scorers in that first game. But it doesn't even just go to scoring. It's defensive stuff, right? I require a lot of our guys defensively. If you're not going to give effort on that end, if you're not going to execute the principles, it makes it hard for you to play. So they're doing it on both ends, which really helps us. And again, the more that they learn, the better they're going to be in those schemes and the better we're going to be as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like you had a lot of shooters come James Wood as well, from 3-point and in the paint as well. What do you like offensively that really stood out after all the work you put in during the offseason?
Yeah, we shot the ball great against James Wood. If you had seen our first scrimmage, you might not have said that about our shooters. But no, we shot the ball great, which I'm big on threes. I want to shoot a lot of threes. Sometimes I think our guys take it a little bit too far, but I love shooting threes. And when we're making them at that high of a rate, it really makes our team look good.
Absolutely. And just last but not least, overall, from the scrimmages to James Wood, sort of looking at what you have with one regular season game under your belt, how are you looking to sort of kick this team and make them a little bit better as the weeks go on?
Yeah, we have a really tough non-district schedule. We play a lot of 3A, 4A teams that are high-level teams. So it helps prepare us a lot for when we get to the Bull Run District. We see a lot of size. James Wood had 2'6'4" guys, and we don't match that anywhere. So to be able to play against those types of teams, to get us ready for the district play where we're not going to see as much height, I think it makes us tougher and it makes us better.
Absolutely. And the Bull Run District, too, just your thoughts on the competition across the board as this season progresses.
Oh, it's strong. It's strong. I mean, Luray returned a lot of their guys from their region championship team. Other teams had really young teams last year that are only going to get better. Central was one of those teams. We had, Strasburg has some guys coming back to their team, and we're going to have to match that, right? I mean, we're going to have to bring that energy every day to try to compete, and I think we have a chance. looking at our guys the first few games, I think we definitely got a chance to compete, but we're going to have to be our best.
Yeah, and I mean, Bull Run District basketball, if I would think anything like football, it's always a great environment when two Bull Run District teams clash off. Am I right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's a battle every night. I mean, even last year when we were one of the best teams in the district, it didn't matter if you were at the bottom or the top. Every game was a tough game.
Absolutely. Coach Auslander, Kent Auslander, in his second year at Clarke County. Can't thank you enough for the time, sir. Looking forward to working with you all season.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.